Kurt Siebold from Parade the Gospel. This is my official first live video, and I am extremely nervous. I tried messing around with a live video yesterday just to see how it would work, and okay, I think I got the hang of it. But today, hopefully I don't stumble too much. I'm just going to talk very casually about some different unique ways to share the gospel. And some of these ways, maybe you've never heard of before. Maybe you've never considered them. I wanted to pick easy ways because if you're like me, like I'm doing this live video right now and I am just extremely, extremely nervous to go live and do anything like that. I'm just nervous making a video without going live just by itself. But yeah, I want to pick out some very easy ways to share the gospel. Anybody can do this, or at least most of them. And yeah, I just made a simple list here. It's not everything. There's plenty of other ways to do it as well, but these are just very simple. Anyone can do it. And yeah, maybe you'll find one that will be something that you can do. So again, I'm like extremely nervous, but hey, if I can do this, if I can share the gospel, someone like me who's like extremely shy, lots of anxiety, you can certainly do the same as well as far as getting the gospel out. So now, obviously, maybe I should wait. I don't know if I should wait a little bit for more people to come in. But of course, I'm going to start by talking about parades. But just right now, as I wait for maybe a couple more people to come on, I am waiting for my daughter to get done with her dance class. She is doing tap and lyrical right now. So I have about 50 more minutes to do that. In the parking lot right now, I know the lighting's probably not the best. We'll just have to do with what we can do with. You can tell I'm nervous. Yeah, so I actually have another YouTube channel. It is called Unique Easy Ways to Share the Gospel. And I actually created that well after I made this channel. I thought, like, let's just test it out. Maybe other Christians, as I comment on other Christian videos, they'll see that and then maybe they'll instantly like want to subscribe to it right away just because of the name. You know, I would think that being a Christian, you would see something like that, and being a Christian, you want to share the gospel, right? Or so you would think. And then you know, it was just an experiment. It didn't really pan out very well. I stopped making videos for that channel a while ago. Maybe I put out one other one on there recently, I don't remember, but you can still check it out. Maybe I'll still add content to it. I mean, I like to, I guess, diversify my ideas and videos and stuff. I do have 9 YouTube channels. I don't have videos on every single one of those. I mean, of course, I have Parade the Gospel. That's my main channel with the most subscribers and stuff. Pursuing 222 was my original channel. I did a lot of like evangelism type stuff on there. I had a show called Eternal Truth. I have my health channel, which is just my name, Kurt Siebold. I don't really post on there as much as I want. I have a video gaming channel. I have a couple of other gospel sharing channels, which honestly I haven't done as much with those as I've wanted to. And this, I guess you can consider this another way to share the gospel, just simply use YouTube or like a TikTok or Instagram, or you know, all those other platforms. I've kind of dabbled in that a little bit, but oh, hold on here. Okay, so anyway, I see some more people are hopping on. Like I said, I'm pretty nervous doing this. My first live video talking about stuff. I don't normally do this, obviously. But I'm going to start talking about different easy ways to share the gospel. Anybody can do this. Even if a nervous idiot, nobody like me can, you know, utilize a lot of these ways to share the gospel, then you guys can do it as well. But the first one, of course, my channel is Parade the Gospel. And hey, if you want more ideas on how to get the gospel out, hit the subscribe button, subscribe and get some more ideas. I've got over 300 videos on easy ways to get the gospel out and hopefully some encouragement. Again, I see more people logging on. I am somebody who's extremely shy. I am not great at talking with people. Now you add in talking to someone about the gospel, it's even worse. But you can do it. If I can do it, you can do it as well. But anyways, I'm just going to give some unique ideas, and we'll see how this goes. So, all right, Parade the Gospel is my channel name, so I'm going to start by talking about parading the gospel, of course. Now, Christmas, 4th of July, Labor Day, Memorial Day, and there's all these different offshoot parades out there that you can do. It's more easy than you might think. I've got, I don't know, 20, 30 different parade videos on my channel. You can check those out. It's just, you know, I'm just a guy with a camera, cell phone camera. Just walking around, handle gospel tracks at parades. It's as easy as that. Beforehand, you pray. You could do this by yourself, with a group. You know, ideally, you'd like to have one person on the street and one person on the sidewalk on each side, or two on the street, two on the sidewalk on each side, and have 8 people. But I've gone to mini parades by myself. So just grab a nice big stack of gospel tracks, and you're going to need a lot, because you can easily, just one person. Now, this should be an encouragement. One person, you can get out 1,000 gospel tracks at a parade. I mean, it depends how big the parade is, of course, and like how fast you walk and stuff. I was told that I walk really fast. I don't know if it's just the mailman to me or whatever. But yeah, I have gotten out, you know, just as a test, I've gotten out 200 gospel tracks, I think, in 5 minutes, just as a test one day. I'm like, I'm just gonna see how many I can get out, so I can report back to you guys, just to, you know, show you guys how easy it is to do something like that. So I would recommend tracks from either Living Waters, Gospel Track Planet. That's some of my go-to places for gospel tracks. Of course, there are other good ones out there, but those are just 2 of my favorites. I would buy them by the thousands, you know, like 5,000s. Sometimes I'll get some custom gospel tracks as well. And sometimes I use a variety of gospel tracks, so it's not always the same thing. I'll have some specifically for kids, and you know, some for just like anybody. I have a disc golf bag, which I would put my gospel tracks in, very conveniently slung around my neck or around my shoulder, whatever. Yeah, like I said, I'm very nervous doing this, but again, someone like me who's super nervous about just a simple live video on YouTube or Facebook or whatever, you know, yeah, you can do stuff like this. So yeah, parades, obviously. Oh, I gotta tell you too, like the first time I've done the parade was back in 2013. Now, back then, I'm looking for all kinds of different ways to share the gospel. It has never even occurred to me that you can just go to a parade. And by the way, you just pick a parade. Like, you don't have to sign up and, you know, officially be in it or whatever. I've personally never had a problem with that. I know one person I talked to, I think he lives in Dakota, South Dakota, North Dakota, I don't remember, but he said that in one of the parades, like in his nearby town or whatever, that he has to officially be in it to hand stuff out. Now, there are workarounds with that, I would imagine. I have a friend of mine, Trevor. He likes to handle gospel tracks before the parade starts. I like to do it during the parade, because at a parade, people just expect to get stuff, right? So people are ready for candy or, you know, papers. Maybe someone's passing out some political stuff, whatever. I have never had any issues. I've done over 50, maybe 60 parades, and I've never been kicked out. I've never been told to stop. Yeah, the worst that's ever happened to me was somebody said, "Oh, no, thanks." I mean, that's literally it. I can't think of anything else. And we've handed out easily tens and tens of thousands of gospel tracks in all this time. And yeah, it's super encouraging. So I did my first parade back in 2013, and I was basically like wanting to do backflips after that, because I was just filled with so much joy and energy. And I remember it was in let's see, Fond du Lac, Wisconsin, and I was driving up to like the Appleton area to head back to where my family was at the time, and I was just buzzing with energy. Like, did I just give out 500 gospel tracts? I just shared the gospel with 500 people. Are you serious? Like, I could not believe it. And yeah, I've been doing it ever since. And a lot of people have done it too with me. Some of my kids have gone with me. Members of my church, the church I used to go to, and yeah, I believe a lot of people have been encouraged by it. So I want to get to some other ideas. I only have so much time to do this. Again, my daughter is at dance right now. If you can see right over here, the dance studio. And yeah, after that, we're gonna head to the gym together. So I can't wait to do that with her. All right, so I'm gonna cross that off. Again, these are just some ideas. There's obviously a lot more. I've talked about more on my channel. So another one, you know, speaking about being nervous, delivery, door-to-door delivery. Now that sounds kind of scary, doesn't it? Actually, I've been doing that since 2000, I want to say 2006. I actually made a flyer for a radio show called To Every Man an Answer. It was on it used to be called the Calvary Satellite Network, CSN Radio. It's a Calvary Chapel thing. now. I'm assuming it still exists out there. I'm not 100% sure on that, but it might be Christian Satellite Network or something like that. But anyway, To Every Man the Answer is a show where people can call in and ask their Bible questions, basically. And sometimes unbelievers would call about different things. And I actually made a MySpace page for that, for the Manitowoc, Green Bay, and Appleton areas. It was a whole thing, but I made a flyer for that, and talked about like the different questions you can ask. And the intention was that people who are curious, not yet Christians, would have questions about that. And these guys, a lot of them did a great job at answering those questions. So it's kind of funny because I would go at night. This is before Ring cameras and stuff like that like almost every door has now. I used to use Scotch tape, so I print off a sheet of paper. My friend owned a ink refill business, so I got like free ink. That was pretty cool. We printed off a ton of these things. A sheet of paper with it cut out into 4 pieces, so it had like 4 parts to it. And I would walk around the neighborhood at night, so I was unseen, and I would tape it to the glass part of people's front door if they had one. Otherwise, I don't know if I like left it in between the crack or whatever, or did things like that. I know I also at that time started, I'll talk about this later too, but delivery using your bike out in the country. I would put that in newspaper boxes. Do not enter mailboxes, you can't do that, but newspaper boxes, you can do that. If you do a lot of biking, or if you go for walks out in the country, perfect way to get the gospel. Even within the city, a lot of times you have a lot of curbside delivery. So a lot of people have newspaper boxes. You can simply put in gospel tracts or flyers or whatever. But that's what I did in 2006. And I remember, like, I have some stories about that. I won't, get lost doing that. But there's been a lot of times where I'll be walking up to a door at like 10 o'clock at night, and a light will go on, one of those sensor lights. It'll go on, and I'll start freaking out. My heart will start beating and racing in my chest. But anyway, I've done this since then, a lot of daytime delivery, different gospel tracks and stuff. Yeah, there's a lot of videos about that on my channel. I don't want to get lost talking about that right now, but you can check that out. Little libraries. Every city's got a whole bunch of them. I know we probably have over 30 of them. I actually have a list somewhere on my phone that talks, or that, like, every time I would see one, being a mailman, I kind of get around a lot and I see a lot of locations in the area. But one time, several times actually, I would go out and start stuffing books with gospel tracts. So I'll put them in there, kind of like a bookmark, very small, paper thin gospel tract. It'll fit in there. And yeah, just start stuffing a bunch of gospel tracts into various books at these little libraries around, my city of Appleton, or excuse me, Manitowoc, Two Rivers, or if I'm out by the Appleton area, Green Bay, whatever. Always carry gospel tracts in your vehicle, by the way. Let's cross that one out. Again, I have a list here of all kinds of different things. No, pen's not even working. Door-to-door delivery. There was a couple of times we actually went out and knocked on doors to deliver Bibles with gospel tracts within them. Me and my friend Luke did that, and just to get our toes wet, or to dip our feet in there. Again, you can tell I'm really nervous, but even someone as nervous as me, once you have that passion to get the gospel out, you can't just contain it within you. You have to, I think Jeremiah talks about this. It's an interesting story I have to share about that in 2006, but I'll say that for another time. But if you have that desire, you have that passion, you are going to do everything you can to get the gospel out, no matter how nervous you are. And you're going to make mistakes sometimes, but we actually went door to door to test it out. We just carried some Bibles with us and knocked on the door, and if they would answer, we'd be like, oh, we're just in the neighborhood wondering if anybody wanted a free Bible. Simple as that. Okay, I'm not even looking for a discussion. We're just, testing the waters. And a lot of people actually were quite excited about it and happy that we were doing that. And we gave a bunch out. Again, they had gospel tracts inside as well. And yeah, we did it a few times, and we should do it again. I always do comment, though, when I talk about this, about how often I see Mormons and Jehovah's Witnesses going door to door. And it's like, well, how come the Christians aren't doing that? They didn't even have the Holy Spirit. One time I was delivering on, I shared this story a ton, but I was delivering on this one route, and there were these Jehovah's Witnesses, like 2 of them in front of me. That's actually 4 of them all together, and one was driving. I was behind these two ladies, and you could tell that one of them was the new one, and they were like very happy. One was exclaiming how excited she was, and she's like, "Oh, this is so easy." They're just going door to door. They were knocking. If they didn't answer, they left a flyer or probably the Watchtower magazine or whatever. And I'm just thinking, they don't even have the Holy Spirit. They don't have the truth. We have the truth. We have the Holy Spirit, and yet, where's the passion to get the gospel out? So anyway, a lot I can say about that. Let's go on to the next one. iPhone AirDrop. Now, I'm not sure how much of a thing this, like, can you still do something like this? I'm not really sure. But as of a couple of years ago, we were able to, if you have an iPhone, you probably know what I'm talking about, AirDrop. So we would be at a big event, crowds of people. You go on the AirDrop option on your iPhone, and you can send a gospel tract that way. And me and my friend Michael did a lot of that, but I'm not sure because you have to have like it's confusing. I'm not really a tech person, but just I made a video about it. Type in "Pray the Gospel" iPhone AirDrop and you should find it. But we were able to get out a lot of gospel tracts that way. It's pretty cool actually. Whenever you're at a crowded event, a lot of people have iPhones, and you just send a whole bunch of them out, and a lot of people accepted them, so it's pretty cool. Rock painting is the next idea. So I actually have a YouTube channel, Nuggets of Truth Rock Ministry. It's one of those channels where I haven't posted much in a while, but it's all about rock painting. We've actually done a lot with that back in the day. Painted a lot of rocks. Simply write like needgod.com on the back of them, or fullyfreefilms.com, and a bunch of other websites, gospel sharing websites. I said that. Exitmovie.com. I think Evolution versus God was probably another one I put on there. There's a bunch of other ones, not just Ray Comfort stuff, but other videos as well, or websites as well, that most oftentimes led to a video. But yeah, there's a lot with that. A lot of ways you can utilize that. I mean, people do a lot of rock painting and hide them around town. You are probably familiar with that. You've probably seen it. So that's one way. I've also used it in curbside evangelism. So if I'm out biking, doing a 100-mile bike ride or whatever, I'll bring some gospel tracts with me, but I'll also bring some nuggets of truth with me. And the reason being is that some people don't have newspaper boxes and you can't access their mailbox. So I'll drop a rock, a nugget of truth, right by their box, so at least they get something. And you just trust in the Lord that maybe they'll go to that website, and because be curious, like, oh, I live way out in the sticks here. Why am I getting this thing that's right by my mailbox? Nobody even knows I live out here. It's probably what they're thinking. So you can also use a 10 Commandment coin from Living Waters, because they won't blow away and it's weatherproof. But rocks work as well too, as long as they're colored the right way. And you can leave them around town just like gospel tracts, but of course they won't blow away and weatherproof and all that. So yeah, I got a lot of videos on that on my channel, and it's fun. If you like rock painting, it's a great way to get the gospel out. Even if it's like a more indirect approach, some of these are indirect, where it's just leading someone to a website. Again, you just trust in the sovereignty of God. There's nothing wrong with that, and it gives you a lot of joy. So let's cross that one off here. Time capsule gospel track. So I'll just quickly tell one story with what I did once. We were redoing our garage, and this was back in 2019 when we first bought our house. And I actually wrote a full-length gospel message in permanent marker on the back side of some siding, and attached it to my garage. And sometime in the future, my hope is that somebody will see that. You can also leave gospel tracts in like a Ziploc plastic bag or something like that in between. If you're taking apart, redoing your house, taking apart a wall or something like that, nail it somewhere back there. I think I did that in our upstairs. So sometime in the future, you just never know, somebody might find that. So it's just these little ideas are really fun and exciting. Google Maps. It's another thing that we got into a number of years ago. We have a lot of photospheres on Google Maps. If you know how to do that, but yeah, lots of gospel sharing websites on there, like 180movie.com, needgod.com, and all the rest. So yeah, check out those videos. I'm not going to spend too much time on that. I don't have a whole lot of time. My daughter's going to be doing dancing in a while, but that's what I find. Now, to upload a photosphere, it's a little bit different now. I still have to learn how to do it. It was much easier a few years ago, but now there's a different process in how to do that. But yeah, we've got quite a few of them out there. And that was a lot of fun. And oh, by the way, too, like sometimes you get emails saying like how many views that it has gotten, and they're in the hundreds. Like even I think a couple of them are easily in the thousands. So again, it's just one of those ways you trust in the sovereignty of God, and you would think that okay, somebody's checking out this photosphere, and they see like this random website off in the background. Huh, what's that? You know, and again, you just trust in the sovereignty of God. Maybe they check it out, they get the gospel, and that would be awesome. So another idea is utilizing video games. So we have a Nintendo Switch and an online membership. There's a lot of different ways that you can use gaming to get the gospel. I mean, there's this one kind of popular YouTuber, I can't remember his name. I think he's still active out there, but he would engage in conversation with people through Fortnite, I believe. Now, I've never really played Fortnite, so I'm not really sure how that works, but you can, have the headset on and talk to people that way. What I have done, I would make my username as 180movie.com or needgod.com. And several ways I've done that, like Tetris 99 on the Nintendo Switch. So every time you play the game, you end up on a leaderboard, people see your name. I've actually at one point created a button pusher so I can go to sleep, and then I estimated that 2,400 people from around the world would see needgod.com. And again, you just trust in the sovereignty of God that somebody will check it out, because how often do people have a website as your name on Nintendo Switch? Not very often. There is a Mega Man Legacy collection if you're grew up in the 80s, 90s and played regular Nintendo. There is different leaderboards that you can get on. I actually got a world record for one of the challenges representing 180movie.com, and that was pretty awesome. It has since then have been beaten, but I think I'm still third place, and some other movie websites I had up on there as well, because I had more than one file. For the Nintendo Switch, if you do any online gaming, again, they'll see that, like Mario Party, Mario Kart World, or whatever. So there's all kinds of ways regarding that. I do have a gaming website or YouTube channel. I haven't really posted much on there, but Mega Christian X on YouTube. Just type in that. It's kind of a play off of Mega Man X, but Mega Christian X, and yeah. Let's see. Another option is utilizing cash. So I don't know how much people carry around cash anymore, but still, I mean, some people do. You can still use this as an option. Now, I've seen websites printed on cash before, and when I say that, I'm talking about the outer rim of a bill. I have no reason to believe it's not legal. You see like where'sgeorge.com on a lot of them still. This is something I've done a lot of, especially we gotta get back into budgeting. Like if you're familiar with Dave Ramsey, then you know, but using cash, it's a good idea. We would write down like needgod.com or fullyfreefilms.com around the perimeter of a piece of cash, and that exchanges a lot of hands. And you just, again, trust in the sovereignty of God. Like any given moment, like right now, over the last however many years we've been doing this, somewhere out in the wild is a gospel tract, in a sense, that's being passed around, because no one's going to throw away money, right? And a lot of people are seeing that. I mean, I've seen stuff on bills before where it's intriguing, like, I wonder what this is about. So real money, you can use that to get the gospel out as well for free. If you write a gospel sharing website around the perimeter, again, you have to go around the perimeter. I often do the back of cash. Let's talk about biking deliveries. I kind of mentioned that before with door-to-door delivery. Yeah, so I love biking. I go on these 100-mile bike rides all the time, and I often carry gospel tracts now, or just go, I'll drive somewhere, park, take my bike out, and just go at it, delivering gospel tracts for people out in the country. People, in my mind, I'm thinking, nobody's thinking about them as far as getting the gospel out to them, and I want them to feel loved and cared about, and that someone is looking out for them and they're getting the gospel too, if that makes any sense. So very passionate about that. yeah, I've got a lot of videos pertaining to that as well, so you can check those out. I give out lots of advice on that. Another simple, easy thing that you can do is just your Wi-Fi name. So instead of like, whatever your name is, family, or, some people like to joke around and be like FBI van or FBI surveillance van number 11 or something like that, just have it as needgod.com or something like that. I mean, it might give your neighbors something to talk to you about as well. So that can be the open door for that if they see that coming up. And yeah, so that's a pretty simple idea. You might as well have it something like that. I mean, why would it matter to have it, Siebold family or something like that? So that's another option. Real mail, my 300th video, I talked about this, so it was not that long ago. There's lots of options actually. You can just send a letter to somebody. I kind of miss the days when we used to send actual mail to each other, not an email, not a text message, but a letter with a handwritten note. I mean, that's something very special about that. It's kind of lost these days, but even if it's just a gospel tract, maybe you know somebody you want to reach with the gospel. Maybe you're really shy, and you don't know how to talk to them. You can be anonymous. You can just put their address down. Make sure your address is correct. I'm a mailman. We get a lot of mail that you wonder, like, how did they mess up the address that badly? And if you don't have a return address, then you can't really do anything about it. So make sure that address is correct. But yeah, please check out that video, that 300 video, because I gave out a lot of other ideas as well by sharing the gospel through actual mail. There's also another thing you can do through the post office. You can send out, like as a church or a ministry, you can send out mail that can pertain or have the gospel on it. My friend Luke and his church did that. I made a video about that before. I'll have to talk about that again, actually. So leaving gospel tracts in various places. I've got lots of videos pertaining to that. Actually, some of my most watched videos are about that. Just grab some gospel tracts. Whenever you're out, you should always carry gospel tracts with you. All kinds of places you can leave them. Like, seriously, there's so many places you can leave gospel tracts. Like, just check out those videos and you won't be disappointed. Just carry gospel tracts with you. Again, I have to start hurrying up because my daughter's gonna be done with her dance pretty soon. Always carry a pen with you. And the reason being is that you can write down a gospel sharing website. Like, you're in the public bathroom, grab a piece of toilet paper, write down needgod.com, and put it like on top of like toilet paper roll or whatever. And or even just like, leave it in the roll itself. I've done that before. People are rolling it out. I'm like, huh, what's this? FullyFreeFilms.com, needgod.com. You never know. Again, guys, you never know. It takes 1 second. It's certainly a lot better than doom scrolling on Facebook as you're sitting there. You can share the gospel as you're using the bathroom. Yeah, and I've done other things using a pen as well. Whatever you can write on, go for it. You just never know. Again, trust the sovereignty of God. Let's see. Email. Let me talk about just a couple more things before I hang up. You can send an email to somebody sharing the gospel. I'll tell a quick story. Back in 2006-ish, 2005, I was at the UW of Manitowoc, University of Wisconsin Manitowoc, and somehow, and I'm not a tech person, like I said before, somehow I was able to, I shouldn't use the word hack, but back then I felt like I was hacking into the system. I was able to get the emails of the entire, all the students and all the staff at the school, UW Manitowoc. And I think I was even able to access like the UW system, like Wisconsin wide, I think. I just selected the Manitowoc campus, and I can't believe I did this, but I actually sent an email. I made a flyer out for an event. It was a gospel sharing event, and I sent an email out to everybody. Like, everybody got it. And I remember sitting in the computer lab that day, and I'm just looking around me. There's like, I don't know, 10 people in there. I'm like, okay, I'm really nervous. So here I go. I'm gonna click it, and then sent it all out, and I only got like one response back, and they're kind of mad. They're like, oh, you need to get permission before you send out a mass email like that. So yeah, just again, you're very passionate about getting the gospel, you will find all kinds of ways that you've never thought of before, that never even thought was possible to get the gospel out. But yeah, if you got a bunch of email addresses, maybe people you haven't talked to in a while or whatever, send an email. Why not? And maybe just a couple more. My daughter is almost done with her dance, but events, fireworks events. Other things, my favorite is fireworks. People are coming in to an event, pass out gospel tracts, just stand out there and just pass out gospel tracts. It's just like a parade. Never had a problem with it before. Or like, what's it called? There's like sometimes I have like a concert at the park or whatever. We've done that. We've even utilized an evangelism board and had one-to-one conversations with people. So that's another thing that you can do as well. The question and answer board, I've got videos on that. You can check that out. You can just get like a dry erase board on just have that up, write down different questions on there just to break the ice, get people to come and talk to you. 5 kind of trick questions, but fun questions. The 6th question, I added that on there, is are you a good person? And boom, you're right into the gospel message. Very easy to do and very fun, by the way. Had lots and lots of good conversations with people doing that. But yeah, fireworks, events, concerts, anything like that. My first firework event was, again, 2013, and got an awesome story about that. My 3-year-old daughter at the time, she joined in, and that's why, like, if you go to my YouTube channel, the banner picture, not the thumbnail, but the banner is me and her. Every 3 years or so, we retake that picture in the same exact spot. And I think the latest picture was from this year, if I'm not mistaken, or from this past 4th of July. But yeah, it was a very special moment. My first time doing an event like that, and my 3-year-old wanted to jump in because she just wanted to do what daddy's doing. And I was hesitant at first, but eventually I said, okay, it's fine. And nobody's gonna say no to a cute 3-year-old little girl. And it was really special. And she's been with me ever since. Not all the parades, but every time that she's able to go with me to a parade, then she's right there by my side always. And I absolutely love that. So, all right. So I just gave a whole bunch of different ideas. It is 31 minutes in. My daughter's almost done with dance. Is there any other ideas? Oh, rubber bands. I didn't talk about that. If you go to my channel, Unique Easy Ways to Share the Gospel, or even this channel, I made a video about it, at least one video, utilizing rubber bands. So this might be kind of funny. So if you go door to door tracting and maybe there's some apartment buildings or something, you can shoot a rubber band up into the balcony area with like needguide.com on it, or just leave rubber bands, around door handles in different areas. We've done that before. I forgot. There's probably other ways I've utilized them. I can't remember, but yeah, it was pretty cool. Check out that video on my Parade the Gospel channel, because yeah, we had a lot of fun making that. Kind of paying homage to the movie Fireproof. At the beginning, we did a little skit that was kind of fun to do with my older 2 kids, Caleb and Chloe. So yeah, what else? I know there's a lot more, but I gotta get going. So this was fun. I should do more live videos like this, maybe keep them a little bit shorter. And yeah, it's interesting how the live video thing works. When I first logged on and started this 33 minutes ago, it was my first like live video, by the way. I mean, yesterday I did the short one just to get used to how this works. But like instantly, like, oh, there's like 30 people watching, and I got really nervous. And now there's like 1, 0, and it goes back to 1, maybe 2, and then 0, and just kind of flip flops like that. So right now it says 1, and yeah. But yeah, I'll keep this video up, and if people want to rewatch it later, then they can do that. So again, just real quick running through some of the things I mentioned: parades, villa libraries, delivery door to door, iPhone airdrop, rock painting, siding or a time capsule, gospel track, Google Maps, video gaming. One thing I forgot to mention about video gaming: Mario Maker. We've done some stuff with Mario Maker. I actually made a level that had fullyfreefilms.com written in coins, and people are actually checking it out. They actually commented on that. Eventually got taken down because somebody must have reported it because I put a website in there, but it didn't stop me from making some more stuff. But yeah, that was a lot of fun, by the way. That was a lot of fun. And just the way I designed the level, there was a lot of symbolism in there about the gospel, so that was really fun making. I want to do that again. Anyway, real money, biking delivery, Wi-Fi name, using real mail, leaving gospel tracts in various places, have a pen with you, you can write on just about anything, toilet paper, whatever, fullyfreefilms.com. events like fireworks, and I think I mentioned a couple more that I did not write down on a piece of paper. But yeah, just as a recap, guys, just whatever you do, use whatever you can to get the gospel out. You know, obviously you can share one-on-one. Obviously you can do open air preaching. Obvious. You know, all the obvious stuff. These are just unique, easy ways that just about everyone can do if you put your mind to it. Sidewalk chalk. That's another thing that we did. You can, you know, be as creative as you want with that, or just simply write needgod.com. We've done that. Like even at a fireworks event where a lot of people are going to gather in this one area, we just write on chalk, needgod.com, fullyfreefilms.com, and I think I wrote something else underneath that. I can't remember what. Enjoy a free film or something. And people are taking pictures of it. Leave 10 commandment coins, nice and shiny gospel tracts. We would, you know, one time we were at this one event, we left those tracks around, and I filmed it for this channel just to show people, even in certain areas, and I was filming from afar off, and people are picking them up and putting it in their pocket. Again, parades, you as one single person can get out 500, 1,000 gospel tracts by yourself. I've done that plenty of times, and I'm an insanely shy person. Probably did 60 parades, and I've never had any problems. Like, nobody tried to kick me out or anything like that. I still get nervous, even though I've done it so many times. But yeah, all you have to do is just, you know, a parade is starting somewhere, you go to it. I personally wait a few minutes after it starts before I jump in. I mean, depending on the parade. My friend Trevor likes to start beforehand, so there's all kinds of different options. People expect to get things for free, and I've actually met some people doing parades, some other brothers in Christ. That was pretty cool. I remember one time we were passing with gospel tracts. We were actually going in reverse. I don't normally do that. So the parade's going one way and we're going the other way. But as we got so far down, people are like, "Oh, we already got one of these." And it was the same exact gospel tract. It was for St. Patrick's Day parade. And I'm like, "You already got one of these? What?" We're just coming up this way. And then I found out some people that I've known from a long time ago were passing out that same exact gospel tract. So that was really awesome. Got to talk to them. And there's been other times too. I actually met another Kurt. My name is Kurt. Met another Kurt at a 4th of July parade in Oshkosh. He was passing gospel tracts, and he was going the opposite direction, and we collided, and that was super awesome. I mean, it's so much fun to meet new people that way. So yeah, I could probably say like a ton more now. I'm getting really excited about it, but my daughter's almost done with dance, and I have to hang this up. I know I said that a long time ago. I know some people are commenting. It says that 0 people are watching right now, so I can say whatever I want right now. Nobody's going to hear me. I don't know what this one person said here. I liked with my tip. I don't know. I'm just looking at the old comments here. I'm sorry, I wasn't really like paying too much attention because I was trying to, you know, not get like super nervous. I know the lighting's not great. If I shut that one off, maybe that's a little bit better. I should have done that. Maybe more people that stayed along with me. Again, like when I first started this live video, there's like 30, 40 people that jumped on like right away. Now it says 0. So I'm not sure how that works. All right, maybe I just gotta have more like entertainment or something. I gotta be more entertaining. I don't know. Anyway, God bless you guys, or whoever is watching right now, which is nobody. But yeah, maybe in the playback, somebody will watch it. All right, thanks for watching. And if you have any other unique ideas, again, I have more too. I just didn't share them all right here, but I got videos on a lot of those. If you have any other unique ideas or experiences you want to share, whatever, just put that down below in the comments. And please subscribe. I'm trying to get more subscribers because that would be awesome. I just want to encourage people. Again, I'm a nobody, but God can use a nobody. All right, I mean, just trust me. It doesn't matter what little talent you think you have or don't have or whatever. Like, I've got pretty much nothing. And again, you're passionate to get the gospel out. You'll find a way, and God will be with you. So, all right. Now, it's funny. How do I stop? Nope. That's starting to question.